Good evening and welcome to the Hyperion. Oh man, my voice cracked and I totally lost it. I'm so sorry, y'all. Good evening. Welcome to the Hyperion Cup. We have a fantastic matchup tonight as we round out actually the regular season. We're getting towards the end. We're looking at the playoffs coming up, and we have a great match for you tonight. We've got Phoenix taking on Paradise Aegis. I am Lemon Pepper. I'm joined here in the booth by Gap. How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing well. This was a little bit of a last minute thing, but man, I am excited to
Right?
be going to this game. Two very high up teams within the standings with Phoenix and Paradise Aegis, and two teams that play very interesting comps. I know that I've cast a little bit of Paradise Aegis before and seeing a lot of the bunker comps from them, which are not as typical on the maps that we see in the map pool right now, but a very interesting team just overall.
Yeah, I'd agree. Both these teams have shown, unique comps throughout, and another thing both these teams have in common is an overall very successful run throughout the season. I think specifically noting Phoenix as a little bit of a surprise, I guess you could say their performance has been very strong. Paradise Aegis, no strangers to success. They were, the previous tournament champions. Going forward, they've had a very successful follow up to that. They're looking to be favorites going into this playoffs. But Phoenix, I mean, definitely just a team that's really been improving. I mean, I can't even say they've been improving. They've been solid throughout the course of the season. They've been consistently putting up numbers. They've been holding strong against the good teams. They've been winning the matches they should. What do you say about this roster here, Gap?
Well, I mean, it's a roster that's been together for quite a while, and they have a lot of experience and a lot of synergy with one another. Something that you might not have as much of within Paradise Aegis. So I'm looking to really rely on that and their composure, especially within maybe playing some rush comps going into these control maps that we have coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these rush brawl comps that we've seen Phoenix run at times have been very successful. I think notably CSPPP on the Diva. Now going over to Paradise Aegis, as noted before, they won the previous Hyperion Invitational Cup. The team core, they've been together for a year, so we've got longevity in both these teams. Paradise Aegis also the largest roster currently fielded here in the tournament. That allows them a lot of depth, and we've seen that. You've got Purple, a player noted for their Roadhog play. You've got a lot of variability that can come with that when you've got that level of sort of variety in your lineup. Moreover, to that point, we do actually have Caffeinated ringing in the support role tonight. So we actually have one of the coaches coming in playing tonight. So just adding further depth to this comp, Gap.
Yeah, you pointed out the wild card of purple, but there's always the little bit of mystery within their comps. Is like I mentioned before, they play a lot of the bunker comps, but also are able to play that ball diva, a ball sigma comp very often, and are leaning towards that. And even sometimes, in my personal experience, seeing the sigma hog come out, which has been really exciting. But I'm always on the edge of my seat whenever I'm watching that type of comp.
Oh, it is. It's living by the sword's edge when you run that comp because it can go so right, but boy oh boy can it go so wrong. And so all of this in mind, as we go over into our first map, that will be Lijiang Tower, and with just the variety of comps that these teams have shown, throughout the course of this season, Gap, what do you expect to see rolling into Lijiang?
Well, I'm looking for a rush comp coming out from Phoenix possibly, but for Paradise Aegis, like I said, it's really up in the air. It seems like they lean a lot onto those bunker comps, but on these more open maps, I'm expecting more of a dive heavy setup and possibly that ball coming out just to be able to deter Phoenix from doing anything in terms of moving forward and just buying space for the rest of their team, their DPS to pop off.
Right, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now as we're going over into this garden sector of the map, Symmetra, definitely a viable pick here. Will we see it from these teams?
You could just see it as a sort of TP to get out of spawn, but like I said, it looks like Boost would be heading towards the ball, hopefully. I'm really hoping for that because it's a very back and forth sort of team comp. But as you said, Caffeinated being in over here as a stand in. And, if you do have him on the Mercy, that is a little bit of a role that doesn't take as much compositional awareness or as much synergy with your comp, but really just allows people to just be able to pop off, like I said, and get these star plays from Brickwall and Locknock. And Brickwall just over and over again proving that he is a reliable sniper.
Boy, I was watching the clock tick down. I didn't believe it was possible, but we do. We've got Purple on the Hog. We've got the Ball Hog comp coming out on Lijiang. They're going up against the six-man comp. I mean, this is they're gonna have their work cut out for you, but you love to see it. You've got Locknick on the Pharah. You've got Caffeinated backing that up with the Mercy. This is a great comp, but now no picks coming out to start as of yet. But Purple's gonna start that off right. He gets a hook kill onto Max. But Safe will ultimately take down Booze on the Wrecking Ball. Brickball taking out the mech of CSPP, and that's Tanks out on the side of Phoenix. And now Brickwall's going to take down DTC. And ultimately, I do think this fight is turning in the favor of Paradise, but I wouldn't tell Phoenix that, as now a little bit of picks coming in. Booze ultimately taking down Pin. Although the fight looks to be going in the favor of Aegis, it is ultimately Phoenix that have control of the point. They're getting progress, and they ultimately, inexplicably, I want to say, win the fight, but I think a lot of that comes back to Safe, who stayed up for so long.
But Phoenix have a comp that heavily relies on momentum, so Paradise Aegis, if they're just able to take it slow, they could get out. The purple does get taken out late, so that is going to be really difficult for them to get back from that. Boost just getting hacked up as well. The Coalescence coming out really late just to try to put some more pressure, but I'm not sure if that was a really great usefulness for it, but he's just looking for the frag clip at this point for Beast.
Certainly a frag too, and I think for the first time now we actually have a fight really actually cleaning up and a real true disengage, because I mean that was, if you really look at it, it was a very extended fight, but meanwhile that's let Phoenix get all the way up to 35% now.
Paradise Aegis feel like they're just getting funneled through it. Oh, and the Reaper roll just coming in and getting 3 in their spawn. He's going to be pushing up, touching the spawn door challenge, successful for them. And they're going to be backing off from this, but a very successful take. And just buying more time, you're going to be up to 50%. And for this ball, he's able to provide a lot of pressure onto the point, but it's really difficult for him to cap, especially against the, as we dub it, zombie comp that sustained itself so well. But a nice boop coming out onto Beast from Locknock, and SP just getting caught out here.
These are a lot of picks coming in now on the side of Aegis. You have to think they're going to be able to get to point now, but as you said, this is a very hard point to take. And now Brickwall going down. Look at it, it's a double boop. They got Spooky as well. Max isn't done yet. He's going to get the 3-peat. But no, the boop will ultimately go to Pin, but I think we can all agree that was really Max in spirit. And now Max going to clean up Boost on the point. And Phoenix, just when you think they're out, they come in. Locknick with the barrage, not getting much, if anything. And CSPP is going to take that down promptly. Beast taking down Caffeinated to boot. And now, again, great stuff from Aegis, but 85% for Phoenix.
Yeah, that was looking like it was easily one for Paradise Aegis, but Max just able to get a star play, and we have the EMP here as well as the beat. I mean, you're just be able to apply so much pressure. The Mines will be able to come in on a point just to be able to buy some space for their team, but it's gonna be so difficult, especially for this Baptiste. What is he able to do whenever the EMP comes out? A nice beat. Brickwall being the only one that gets to get that EMP though.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I thought that EMP would get more, but Boost taking out Pin with the minefield. Purple with the whole hog, not really getting much, but pushing Phoenix off the point. Beast coming back in with Coalescence. That's a big bomb from CSPPP to take out Spooky and Purple, and this might be the chance Phoenix needs to reestablish control on the point, and the cleanup coming in. DTC does go down, but it's going to be not enough as Locknick does fall, and wow, Phoenix has taken that 100-0.
Paradise need to figure out what comp they want to go towards. I mean, you're even seeing Spooky come out on the Baptiste, and you feel like they're very divided in terms of what their goal actually is within this team comp.
Yes, I mean, I feel like, yeah, with the Hog and Ball tank line, your comp is going to be chaos and disorder, but ideally you want to be instilling that chaos and disorder in the other team, not in your own team. So I think that might have been a bit of the issue there, but now we do see a little bit of a change in pace as Boost and Purple going over to the Ryan Zarya respectively. You've got Brickwall playing that Symmetra. Locknick on the Doomfist. Now this is something I like to see. I love seeing a good Doomfist comp. I played with Cray after all. It just makes sense. Meanwhile, Mirror Tanks. We haven't seen Ryan Zarya a lot this season, but it looks like we'll be getting it.
Yeah, I really enjoy this comp, and it's one that is super chaotic. Like you said, Purple is coming on the Zarya, which is not something that we see a whole lot from him. With the mirror comp of the Ryan Zarya, neither team decided to actually go, and Penny getting killed off super early by Locknock, and Brickwall just putting in so much damage into there. Charge does come out from Max, but it's not going to amount to much, and a very fast take. And I mean, it's going to be so difficult for Phoenix to actually be able to come back in and take control of this point. You're going to be seeing some switches come out.
Paradise Aegis, they put that first point in their rearview mirror promptly with that fight. They're going to go ahead and get progress now, and that was just completely dominating. It set them up with not much of an ult advantage per se, but now there's been an entire comp switch by Phoenix as they go over to the Ball Sig comp. They've got the McCree, they got Pharah, and then a Mercy Zen, so low hills but high aggression coming out. And now Boost is going to take down Max, so all of that aggression is going to start off with DTC and Max going down. Boost is on the attack with the Reinhardt, and this will be a promptly won fight. But just as I say that, Safe on the Pharah, and Beast combining for a nice kill on the DPS line of Paradise Aegis. And now this is a chance for a fight to take place on the point if you're Phoenix.
It's going to be so difficult for CSP to actually get in here, so he relies a lot on his DPS just to make it their own space for him. But Purple Day and sinking so low and being taken out, especially with the Discord Orb. Can a Fire Strike come out, although onto Max? There's a lot of damage, but can they actually capitalize on this? TP Spawn's going to be able to come back in, though, pretty soon. He does take out Lockdown, so that's a great kill, and the Barrage comes out just to cement their fate. But Ripple does take him out, and this is a very back-and-forth fight, but it's buying so much percentage for Paradise Aegis at the same time, even if they do lose this fight.
I mean, the roles have been reversed basically, because this is exactly what Phoenix did to Aegis on the first point, and now Aegis doing it so well in return. But CSPP and Max, the tank line combining for a nice pair of kills. Max is going to get another one on purple, and ultimately, I do think this will be Phoenix taking point over, and the ball sig comp prevails.
Yeah, after Purple does use this grab, I'm really hoping that he switches to a Diva just to be able to negate some of this damage coming out from Phoenix. Well, yeah, that's a very quick fight, but you have a lot of ults coming back in with Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got the Doomfist ult if you can hold out until Purple is able to get the Graviton. Now Sigma, Max is able to get the Flux, able to get Purple out of the mix, and that's huge because now the Grav can't build any quicker, and this is a huge fight cleanup for Phoenix. It's going to let him get up to close to 50%, and all importantly, Purple still at only 88% for that Graviton.
Yeah, ults like the Mines and the High Noon and the Valkyrie. Oh, but CSP just taking a little bit low, but for these ults that Phoenix has, it just deters Paradise Aegis from actually pushing in with this beat that they have and the Graviton Surge. But I'm really looking for boosts to just make a start plane to go deep into the backlines and secure a Shatter and maybe be able to secure 1 or 2 kills, or even shattering the Sig as well. High Noon does come out just to buy some time for them, but it doesn't amount to much. But a nice kill into Spooky. How does he get caught out there?
That's a huge catch there, and that's going to slow down Aegis indefinitely. And I would have thought Boost would stay out. Ultimately does drop down, but still staying out of the fight. Safe is going to get very aggressive and take out Brick Wall for their troubles as well, and now in position to continue to do more work as they continue to put pressure, and ultimately DTC will take down Knocknick, and then this is just the ultimate sort of territory control coming out from Phoenix right now, Gap.
Watch this Pharah ult in this next fight, though. It's something that can be so instrumental and something that they can't really negate. Like I said, not having the Diva and Beast just getting another kill on Caffeinated, a long-range shot, and that's going to buy them so much time. It's going to be so hard for Paradise Aegis to come back in here when they only have 10 seconds to actually touch point. Mine's on the high ground just to make sure that they can't even move in through there. And what do Paradise Aegis do? Can anybody touch at this rate?
I don't know that anyone can touch, which is a shame because they've got the ults to be able to do it, but Safe is going to take down Boost. Locknick does take down Safe. Deadeye from Brickwall takes down Pin. These are a lot of picks coming out for Aegis. They're able to get progress on the point. Locknick taking down Max and the Beast. Ultimately, Locknick still having ult in play there. That's a huge turnaround coming out from Aegis, and now they've got the control.
Locknick getting a lifeline there for the rest of his team, pulling it out of nowhere. And this is looking okay for Paradise Aegis. I mean, you have 2 ults walking into this, but look at the Sigma Flux on Max. That's something that will be instrumental. And with Caffeinated not having that beat, you don't really have anything as a defensive ult to do anything against that. Boost coming out of the Shatter
coming
doesn't
out.
hit anything.
No, nothing at all. Flux coming out, able to get about 4, able to take down Caffeinated with it, but Locknick taking down Safe out of the sky. DTC is going to take down that Immortality field, but Max is going to take down Locknick. Boost taking down CSPP. Pin able to get the res onto Safe, but it might be too little too late as the pick's still coming in for Aegis. But no, Safe, a double kill. DTC taking down Boost as well. Safe getting 3. The res, all important because now Safe has gotten 4 picks.
Safe just lumping in the damage with that Discord Orb and the damage boost. I think you will not touch my point. That is mine to take. And having a huge play there at the end just to cement the faith of Paradise Aegis.
Wow, that was a real reverse caster curse, I guess you could say, because I was literally just talking about how the fight seemed like it was won for Paradise Aegis at that point. They had everything kind of in the bag. Pin able to get that res onto Safe, and Safe just goes to work. No barrage, no problem. Able to get a nice 4K. This is a huge play of the game coming out from Locknick. I mean, the fact that he was able to do it all without a visor, incredibly impressive. You know, great use of the grab there. But at the end of the day, I mean, the better overall team play from Phoenix coming out, and they ultimately take this, and they're up in the series now 1-0.
I'm glad that we were able to at least see a closer round out of the 2 teams, though. Phoenix
Yes.
just taking that round by storm in the first one, but Paradise Aegis at least coming back and being competitive in this one. And that's what we're looking for, especially going to the next map, just seeing what pick they'll get and hopefully being able to play to their strengths.
Right, absolutely. And now map pick is such an important advantage here that you get after losing a map, and fortunately, because oftentimes after losing a map, when you really need this second map to bring the series back to 1-0, it's really hard to come back from 2-0. Obviously, we've seen it done several times, in fact, but you want to be able to answer here in map 2. Meanwhile, Paradise Aegis, I mean, they looked really strong at that second point. The times they did the times where they were executing what their comp was supposed to do, they were doing it very well. They were having great success. They were doing everything they needed to do. But ultimately, I think you go back to that ball sig comp that Phoenix was running, where they were able to just control so much territory. They're able to pick Spooky early. They're able to get all these early picks in these fights, and ultimately that just leads to Aegis really taking a lot of time off the clock, really burning through a lot of stuff, cooldowns, everything, just resources, maneuvering, rotations, all of these things come into play. And meanwhile, Phoenix taking, being down 70%, suddenly they're right back in it. Suddenly they're at 99%. Suddenly they're the ones in control. Suddenly Paradise Aegis is the one on the back foot. And it all just kind of boils down to that territory control. I think I get right back to it. It's something that ball sig comp is able to do well, and I think that's where the Ryan Zarya comp at times struggled. As you said, I mean, ultimately the graph did pay dividends. It got success. Locknick, able to capitalize on it very well. But as you said, I think purple going over to the Diva might have been a smarter play there.
Yeah, it's just a more versatile pick is one of the things. And like you mentioned, Phoenix just never giving Paradise Aegis a chance to breathe, it felt like, and just over and over again, constantly applying that pressure and making sure that Paradise Aegis doesn't have any space to actually execute their rush comp. They're playing so far that the only person that's really close enough to even punish is the ball at that point, but it's so difficult for them to punish him. And even if you do side towards the McCree, you're losing the range that you would have with other picks, such as Ash.
Right, you really are. I mean, going back, I mean, I go back to the first point, and I go back to the ball sig comp, and I think, or the ball hog comp, I should say, with purple on the hog. I don't think I don't really know how to phrase my words. It's hard for me to say, but I don't think that purple playing the hog in the off tank capacity that hog kind of plays in with the ball hog comp. I don't think that's where you want purple. I think you want purple in with the hog sig. I think you want to play to purple strengths. I think you want to make him the centerpiece. I think when you put boost on ball, I think you're putting a little too much pressure on just overall the support line, the DPS line. They have to make a decision: are they playing with the hog, or are they playing with the ball? If you can do it right, that chaos will cause just absolute pandemonium for the enemy team. But when it's at its worst, we see what happened there, which is ultimately success. But we have a whole new map. We have a whole new chance for Paradise Aegis to get back in us. We're over at Junkertown, and we will be. Sorry, I'm rambling. Forgive me.
It's all right. Last time that I saw Paradise Aegis play, it was this Junkertown map where everything started. It felt like where purple just brought the hog, and it's a map that plays a lot to his strengths, able to play that sig hog comp that you were talking about, and it's one that heavily relies on the DPS just to over and over again pull out these plays from nowhere. And I mean, seeing Brickwall again. I love seeing him play on this Widowmaker and just making sure that the DBs don't have any space to breathe as well, with a side of DTC and Hans as well coming out. A double sniper heavy comp for each side.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited to see I thought we were going to see the Bastion. I really did. I shouldn't even have said anything. Brickwall might have stayed on. But yes, we've got the Widow on both sides, safe on the Hanzo. This is going to be tough sledding for Locknick right now. Even with the Mercy Pocket, obviously we're going to see Locknick switch over. Maybe got some intel there. But now the Mirror Snipers, you've got Ball Hog on one side, Ball Sig on the other. And that's really the only difference. And Beast, an early pick onto Locknick to start this off. Beast on this Zen has been getting picks left and right all throughout the series. Caffeinated will get the res ultimately, but I mean, Beast, the Zen Yacht has just been going unchecked so far this series.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice right click coming out. CSB just having a little bit of an early engage, trying to get some boops off of this high ground, but taking a lot of damage. Can he get out of here? At this rate, he's so close to dying, but Beast just not able to hit those last couple shots, and Boost going down to 65 HP. But Spooky does get taken on the other side, and that's just buying a little more time for the defenders, but hopefully we can get an actual fight coming out, but it's hard for them to engage in this rate.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there in spawn, so at the end of the day, you really still have the advantage, even with Spooky going down. That ultimately may even let Spooky get a better chance, but that's a huge hook coming out of nowhere. Purple's going to take down DTC. Max landing a nice rock kill as Brickwall taking down Beast, and now Aegis, they've got a foothold that possibly move forward here. The Pin going to get the res onto Beast, support line back at full strength for the side of Phoenix, but the point progress immunity. Save coming out with a dragon right over point, not really getting one, kind of just zoning out the side of Paradise Aegis. And now still just open progress going, but that's really not it. Not much to do. But Spooky gonna take down CSPP. Beast just trades back and forth, but ultimately the progress still continues to roll.
Pretty aggressive res coming out in a brick wall, just resetting and hopefully able to get this Hanzo and Mercy pair on the side. Boost does take out Beast, so this looks like it's going to be the end of this point. Boost falling so low though, but it doesn't matter too much. Hanzo does take out Locknock at the same time, but Mercy should be taken out. We will be looking at a first point take, it looks like. Nice little shot.
Yeah, Brickwall really cleaning up, getting the melee kill, and then the nice headshot onto the Widow counterpart. And I mean, this is just really going to solidify Aegis as they go ahead and control the points. Spooky taking down CSPPP to boot. And I have to take this point to say, respect to Phoenix putting the off tank on the Wrecking Ball, putting the SIG as the main tank role. That's what my team Tempest does as well. We always catch flack for that. I always have to say that. They do it. But Brickwall, meanwhile, having none of my shenanigans, continuing on, taking down Safe, but ultimately the Beast is going to take down Brickwall as well. These are a lot of just great sniper picks going forward, and ultimately I have to think it's benefiting the attackers at this point, Gab.
That's a great transcendence, but if Boost can get up this Sigma Gravitic Flux, it could just really cement the fate of Phoenix at this rate. Here comes the Flux, no chance in order to actually counteract it. Sigma getting taken up in the air. Dragon coming out just to be able to split them up, and that's a really great Dragon. Both tanks getting caught up in this Flux though, and can they— oh, nice rock onto Max! That's a huge rock from Boost, and Max being taken down to 1 HP, and he's going to be taken out. What a great play from Boost, just to make sure that Max isn't able to make that star play there and bring it back for his team. And a very, very quick second take. That is such a proficient one. He's taken down a little bit late, but you still have this Hoggle on the side of purple, and Pen does have this Valkyrie in order to counteract it and play on this high ground with his DPS. So hopefully we can see their DPS just take a little more high ground, take some more angles, and honestly stop down a brick wall. Because he's being a menace right now.
Yeah, Brickwall just keeps cleaning everything up. I mean, it's allowing Aegis to keep the point rolling, and this is how you play the ball and hog comp that they were playing previously. Obviously, they have switched over to ball sig, but playing that sort of chaos that you started out with, seeing for a second, that's how you do it. Purple still getting the counterpart taken down. I mean, Purple's getting to run unchecked at this point.
He's looking for a hook here on the high ground. The Ana just pushing him a little bit back, but they have so much space to play with here on the side of Paradise Aegis. There's not really anything that Phoenix can do to really do any pressure, but misses the hook on a Pen, but that's— oh, but a nice lead coming out. They might actually be able to take him out, and the hook coming out as well. Purple being a little bit over aggressive, but Brick Wall just trading out at the same time.
I mean, even playing aggressive, able to get that trade out, but I was about to say Purple got that main take experience there. But even with all of that Aegis, they still keep rolling on the point. Caffeinated still getting the res. I mean, they're just able to do everything they need to do on this comp right now. Brickwall set up perfectly. Locknick taking down Beast. Brickwall getting the kill on to save. That's a Dragon coming out as Pin gets the res on Beast. CSPP is now on the flank, able to get into the backline. Hook misses though, and Purple able to take down Max for his troubles on the Winston too.
These PCs emphasizes up, but he honestly doesn't care. He's walking to the back line. Brickwall just being able to play a ring around the roses with him. We're going to see a res coming out, maybe from Pen. But no, he's actually coming out with the Battle Mercy. Playing it with only the pistol, not even the Valkyrie either. Who's taking out Beast at the same time. And there's a nice Transcendence just to make sure that nobody on the side of Paradise, he just goes down. They're going to be so low and getting taken out. And Boost just pushing up here to take out the remainder of Phoenix.
This is a very aggressive play coming out from the side of Aegis. They've never let Phoenix actually get set up. They've always been on the back foot. I haven't ever seen them actually be able to get a clean engage. They've now getting the Dragon Crown spawn, but it's not enough. Locknick cleaning up the fight, and that is a huge 3-minute time bank right now for Paradise Aegis.
Yeah, Brick and Locknock just playing so well. That first point was a bit back and forth in terms of the DPS picks, but once you got to that second and third point, Brickwall and Locknock just cementing the fate. I keep on saying the word cementing. I feel like I'm at a construction site at this rate, but Paradise Aegis are constructing their own fate right now, and that is something that we are marveling at. Completely different from the first map.
Well, you're just like me with takedown, but yes, it is a tale of two teams right now with Paradise Aegis. The team we saw on the first map is not the team we're seeing here on this first attack of Junkertown. I mean, I can't stress it enough. That's how you're supposed to play that hog sit comp. You're supposed to play chaos. You're supposed to let purple kind of be free to do whatever they want there. And now we're seeing purple playing the double shield comp over on the Sigma. So I mean, purple's just going to play both sides of it. Play the hog, play the Sig. It doesn't matter. It looks like they will be reprising that double sniper role with Brickwall and Locknick on the Widow and the Hanzo respectively. So double shield is the only variant that has changed in a comp that was otherwise incredibly successful on their attack gap.
It's so difficult though for Phoenix because what can you do against these snipers? CSP can apply a little bit of pressure, but with such long angles, it's so difficult for him to even do anything, especially with that Discord orb lumped on and the fear of the different CZs coming out from the tanks. There's a whole lot deterring you from actually doing anything against those snipers.
Absolutely. And the thing I note too is that with having this double sniper comp, Locknick or Brickwall, they don't really rely on the shields. That allows both shields to really be dedicated to Spooky if they do shoot. And now CSPP on this ball comp though, able to instantly apply pressure on the Widow. That's exactly what you want to do here if you're Phoenix. You want to keep Brickwall kind of at unease, basically, and keep him from being able to set up properly. But now CSPP being laid low, able to get that Mega, ultimately able to take out. But now Safe taking down Caffeinated. And this might be exactly what Phoenix need to ultimately get started here.
Two huge picks coming out. No sweat for him, but Max does get taken on the other end, and CSP has his Discord orb. It's going to be a little difficult. Oh, but he does take Brick Wall, and then also Lockdown just getting taken out by Safe. Safe just putting in these shots. He's putting in the work, putting in the hours. He's been hitting the training range over here.
Apparently, attacking is where it's at for snipers. I mean, who knew? But at the end of the day, now Safe is able to really get the setup now, set up at the flank. DTC switching over to the Ashe. I like that. It allows you to have a little bit more crowd control. Brickwall going to take down Beast, though, and this might give Paradise Aegis a foothold to maybe get back and contest this point. Ultimately, Phoenix is doing a favor, too, not progressing the point at all here while this has all been going on. Brickwall free shots ultimately getting checked. That's a huge storm arrow from Safe, though, to ultimately take down Brickwall as they're trying to get out.
This could be huge coming out from him. The bunker comp just playing so together. Safe and Lockdown just having a 1v1. Lockdown does win it out, and that's going to win it for his team. Actually, kind of looks like Pen going at him with a battle mercy. It is going to get taken out. No! Oh, he trades him out. The projectiles coming out. What a crazy little series of events. He is probably going to get rezzed up by Caffeinated.
Oh my gosh, that little fight should be a mini movie in and of itself. I mean, the suspense, the intrigue, the drama. I mean, it had everything to be an Oscar-winning movie. It was fantastic, and ultimately they both die. So I mean, it's very fitting. But now CSPP coming in, getting the slam into the backline. Max able to set up minefields coming out, able to getting them out, but then Storm Arrow laying low CSPPP. Max alone, being supported by Beast, but Beast is on the high ground and Max is on the low ground. And now this is exactly the setup you want, but DTC taking down Purple. See, the minefields, those minefields have been out for a minute. Spooky, you knew.
Spooky getting spooked himself from those mines like he's in a haunted house. Brickwall is playing up on this high ground, and can he get anything done? It's going to be really up to him, but CSP just applying so much pressure to him, and he can't do anything. Max does come with this Gravitic Flux as well, and it's huge just getting the last three kills on this point. But, I mean, that's a massive nade coming out from, I believe it was Beast coming out onto Purple that really just opened up the point for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It cracked the fight open. I mean, but that was a great hold coming out from Aegis. They're able to get the time bank down to about 345 now, as you can see. But Phoenix, they're going to go ahead and take control, push back into spawn, Pin getting the res onto Safe, undoing the hard work of Locknick. Locknick now in danger himself as Max applying pressure on the Sig.
Oh, it's a big Dragon Strike, though. They're all grouped up in this little highway, in this little hallway. So much damage. CSP just puts it in the dirt with Purple grappling into him, and he said they can't have any space here. Purple's getting taken out once again. He does get rezzed up, and he does have the Gravitic Flux to be able to walk in. But the team of Phoenix are playing so separate. Is he going to try to pull it in here on the Ana?
That was actually a huge nano coming out onto Max, able to protect against the imposing Purple. And now Phoenix, they have their core still set up on the point, but ultimately it's going to be Boost getting the kill onto Pin. CSPP will take down Knocknick. The trades keep coming and the point keeps progressing as Safe getting a nice headshot onto Boost. And now Safe with the high ground, overlooking Spooky, a huge anti. The Immortality comes out, but the Storm Bear is going to take down Purple, shutting down the ultimate, I believe, as well.
Well, actually, it's a ult coming out from Max. just
Oh, I see it now.
taking a little joyride up in the air. But
That
purple,
timing.
the entire time he did not have that. I mean, he did not use that flux. Even after he got rezzed up, he was waiting for something, maybe for the market to crash or something, and to buy his stocks after that. But electing not to use that flux.
Buy the dip, baby. That's what you got to do. Well, now on the bright side, an ult advantage on the side of Paradise Aegis. They've got the high ground as well. Max stunned out, laid low, but ultimately escaping with his life is DTC taking down Boost as well. The high ground being forfeited now on the side of Aegis. Flux coming out from Purple. He's got one up, but ultimately the picks do come in. The Flux doesn't get him, but Spooky does. Locknick taking down Pin with the Storm Arrow as well. And these are good picks coming out for Aegis, setting up for a strong defense coming out on this third point.
CSP does use those mines at the very end of the fight, so it's probably not your best decision, but they are actually electing to come back in here. A huge pick out from Safe onto Boost. Boost just not having a great time on this defense on the ball, but CSP does get taken out, so at least they won't be able to push this too much. Dragon Strike coming out though, and Safe is just locked up into it. He doesn't even realize where it's coming from. Comes through the wall, and Max going for a late Winston pick here. Interesting one.
The Winston contest is very interesting, and this isn't the first time we've seen it either. Both sides on the Winston running with the ball Winston comp. Purple will get DTC down with the Winston. Max taking down Brickwall. The Monkey's getting value right off the bat. Now, CSPP in the bag. Max taking down Brickwall. Spooky taking down the Beast. The trade's coming back and forth. That has to benefit the defense with the spawns coming in, but Boost is going to take down Max as well. And now Aegis getting all the picks in their favor. CSPP, just as I say that, Caster Curse taking down Locknick. Caffeinated does get the res, though, under duress. And now this will be Aegis holding.
I think in the middle of that fight, I forgot which team was attacking and which one was defending because everybody was just
blur.
So everywhere, all around, and CSP just having a difficult time to take space, and so is Boost, but honestly, the DPS just coming out. You saw picks from Safe, but Locknot just able to put the nail in that coffin for them, and you have a good amount of ults coming out, but like I said before, you have these very mixed comps, which feels like they don't have an actual goal for both sides.
Yeah, it would seem the ult advantage does seem to favor Paradise Aegis. However, you look, the tank ult's coming online very shortly for Phoenix. They're going to play this out slow. They're going to try to build this ult pressure, this high ground out. And now with Safe on the Tracer, they're going to be able to put all that pressure on CSPPP getting that backup. Now, Spooky taking down CSPPP because Safe left. Safe taking down Purple, though. Tank down for East Sides. Trans coming out from the Beast. That's going to keep everyone alive, and that allows the Pulse Bomb to come out. Pulse Bomb not getting anyone, doing some damage, though. Max cleaning up Spooky. Wow, that was a huge discord onto Boost, allowing Safe to finish that out. Locknot got the tag visor now.
Purple does have this ult up, though, so we can stall it for a bit. And Locknot getting so many picks here. Just that visor. Just even though CSP and Max are able to have a good amount of space, they don't have a D.Va in order to get that damage, and the healing is just so minimal for their comp where they want a longer fight. So it's really difficult for them to sustain through this. And like I said, Purple has this ult, so they'll be able to stall for quite a while. And look at the time bank. Look at the time bank difference for Paradise Aegis versus Phoenix. We thought that Phoenix had a pretty good second point take, but Paradise Aegis did so much better on their attack.
They really did. They were able to really thread the needle and able to get the third point, which is where a lot of teams get hung up. But CSPPP is going to get a nice melee kill into Locknick. Going to take out a big source of damage for the Phoenix Taunt. But no, no, C9! They C9! Oh my gosh!
Take the longer, and I think Safe was trying to touch the point, but barely didn't make it. Maybe he had
they C9! No, they C9! They got it in! He touched it. Yes, no.
Wrong.
See,
Safe
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Oh man. Pull up all right, Oakley, you're gonna need to get the code. You're gonna need to get an instant replay of that afterwards. We're gonna need to see what happened. We all missed it. That was soon levels of C9. I don't think anyone even realized it. Does anyone realize what happened? Are the teams confused? I need to know. I'm sorry, I'm having to break the fourth wall a little bit here because that was fantastic.
And math was probably one of my best subjects back in school, but these numbers are confusing me. How did they have the 3 there? I didn't realize that had happened either. Yeah. I think Boost and Purple might have forgotten which team they were on as well, or if they were attackers or not.
You are the master of foreshadowing, Gap. That's all I'm going to say. You literally alluded earlier. You were literally like, I can't tell which team's which, and sure enough, I don't think they could either because I don't know what's happening. We didn't, they didn't, no one knew. We're all confused. I thought I was the only one confused by how this match was going, just the chaos, the back and forth fights, but apparently the teams are confused too. And now this is a chance. That's the great thing about these escort maps. Is now this is a chance. Even in overtime, you can get a ton of progress here in Junkertown. Phoenix can really do something here. They've got the ball sig comp. We've seen how well that can work on the attack phase. Brick wall on the Widow. Going to be in a strong position to defend this, and we're just going to have to see how it pans out.
Yeah, one pick is all it takes. Boost can take it out super early though, and that is the key to go. It's gonna be so difficult for Purple to be able to stay in the space on his own, and already getting taken down to half HP. He's having to use the hands really early on, and so much pressure is being applied on him. He's gonna have to back off here and give some space, but a nice boop in. But nobody's able to actually capitalize on it, so that's gonna be a little bit hard. But they're gonna be able to take a lot of angles, but Safe just getting taken out by Brick Wall. Brick Wall doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but he just makes magic from it.
Yeah. Honestly, these reses have been phenomenal on both Mercies throughout this season, but Safe is going to take down Brick Wall once again. Locknick taking down Beast. DTC going to work on the Ash. The Battle of the Snipers paying off on the side of Phoenix right now, it would seem, but at least point control on the side of Aegis for the moment as they continue to clean up. Overtime now beginning.
Dragon Strike almost in hand for Safe, though. If he can get this up, he might be able to buy some space for his team and give him a break within this fight. Does get the pick on the boost, and a big Dragon Strike onto 3 people. Takes out Spooky, gets the help on a Lock Knock, just getting the assist there, and able to take out Purple as well. What a star play from... What was his name again, you said?
That's Safe. That's Safe.
It's so hard to memorize it.
Safe. We've talked about it before, Safe. We've talked about the L's. This is why we lose your name after you pop off like that, because seriously, let's just get back to it. Safe has been making some clutch plays so far in Junkertown, and once again, Storm Arrow coming down, stopping the contest, and now this will be Phoenix able to get this first point in overtime. And as I said, where there's a will, there's a way, and now in overtime, some progress can be had.
Now you're really looking for CSP to buy some space for his team with these mines and able to get some of the pressure off of them from this high ground. And here's going to be the boot hopefully coming out here. Oh, we can't actually get the mines yet, and he's going to be able to use them here. And Caffeinated coming out with the Mercy Valkyrie as well. Bob comes out, and Brick Wall getting taken out. Safe just playing on that window angle, actually playing from mid, and he's able to get that pick. Getting another shot into Spooky, and wow, what a great play from the team. I mean, they're just... Phoenix... I mean, Paradise Aegis aren't able to use the space that they had to begin with.
I mean, this is chaos. This is great for the attacking side right now of Phoenix. They're able to benefit off this chaos. You see DTC with that Bob able to get a ton of kills. Why? Because the fight had devolved so much that no one really had the clear positioning anymore. And now that's just letting Phoenix continue to build this progress up. Purple really kind of the lone man on the totem pole, trying to fight this point, waiting for reinforcements to arrive. He's got the angle now with this hallway to possibly do something. Dragon going to come out here. This has got a nice alley, but Beast is going to take down Boost, and that's a bunch of good picks coming out on the side of Phoenix already to start this off. CSPPP taking down Brick Wall. Purple will take down Beast, but DTC and CPP combining for another pair of kills on the Hanzo and Mercy. Spooky going down as well. And this is just fight win after fight win for Phoenix, Cap.
Yeah, like you said, it just gave Phoenix a chance once they got that cap, and look what they've done with only a minute in the time bank, getting this overtime for so long. If anybody goes off of it for just a second, that wick is going to burn down like crazy. But we don't see a whole lot of ults for the side of Phoenix, so it's going to be really relying on picks, but also just buying time for them so that Beast and CSP can get up those ults, and hopefully Max can just get some stalling out of here. Boost engaging a little bit early, so it's going to be able to just slow down their rolls, right?
You're absolutely right. And Aegis is going to want to look to take early and aggressive engages just to try and build up some ultimates, because they're probably aware that neither side really has ultimates. And Purple taking down Safe. That's a huge pick. That's the source of all the damage right now for the side of Phoenix. Pin will res Safe right on back. And Beast taking down Purple for his troubles as well. And now Phoenix right back to rolling again.
Purple and Boost just electing to throw their bodies on the point and seeing what happens. And they are able to get that pick, but nobody's able to capitalize on the Mercy Resurrect because these DPS don't have any angles on the high ground. Boost using these mines late on point, though, and it's just going to get taken out by this Transcendence. And the mines in turn from CSP. This is a very back and forth fight, but Bob just going to be able to buy a lot of space for his team. And can this Mercy get taken out? They do actually take out the Bob, so no kills coming out from them. And Purple actually getting taken out on the point of being so separated from his team.
Well, that's a pair of big picks coming out from Phoenix. Just when you thought they were out, they're able to rally and come right back in. Brickwall taking down the Beast, though. But Brickwall's in the back line. He's still alive, ultimately taken down by CSP. And now Phoenix, they're still rolling. They don't really have any ultimates to work with now that Valkyrie's out. But the Valkyrie gets the res on Beast, and now Safe getting the Dragon Strike kill onto Locknick. Safe getting a kill on Purple. Safe's cleaning up once again. Penn getting the pistol whip onto Boost. And now look at this. Pretty much the whole map in overtime, and this is Phoenix taking it to 6 points. 6-3 Phoenix.
No C9s required. Phoenix is dominant on this map. It looked like Paradise Aegis had a great attack on their first attack, but Phoenix are just setting records in their own regards. What a great defense from them. And I mean, for Paradise Aegis, the pressure is mounted onto you. You're already down 1-0 in the series, and you're facing a map where you've just been rolled in overtime. You feel like you need a timeout, and there's no timeouts allowed right here.
I need a timeout. I mean, can we all just agree to a timeout? Is that a thing we can do? I mean, I could use a timeout. My brain's kind of shot from everything that has transpired here on Junkertown. It has been fun to watch, but it has also been, it's been a little bit crazy. And now, possibly a return to normalcy. We've got Purple on the Winston, Boost on the Diva, traditional dive. Will we see it? Nope, too much to ask for. Nope, right back to chaos. You've got CSP and Max running the ball sig comp. DTC switching over to the Ashe. We're not seeing the Widow as much from DTC anymore. That has been a notable change throughout the course of this map. Switching over to the Ashe, giving a little bit more crowd control, a little bit more group damage, able to hit that core of Paradise Aegis, I'd imagine, is the play there. Meanwhile, Paradise Aegis currently running with the ball Winston comp. They've got Brickwall on the Tracer, Locknick on the Echo. Locknick's really been popping off on anything that they've been playing at this point so far in the series. So anything that's going to allow Locknick to get more value and possibly take this map into their hands, they're going to need it because they've got to get all 3 points. That's a huge ante to start off. I mean, just to slow things down. But now Locknick over to the Pharah.
On the back lines. Oh my gosh, he's 15 HP. But yeah, the Pharah is a very questionable pick for me. I mean, it's going to be so difficult for him to play against these double snipers, especially with DTC and the damage boost. I mean, what do you do against that? Slam comes out from boost, but not going to be able to mount too much. And I mean, you're just looking for ult charge, but they get the pick on a pen. Nobody's paying attention to this Pharah. Where is DTC to deal with this Pharah?
They're running double snipers, and the Pharah just took out your support line. Then keeps going to work, taking down Safe, gonna take down your Sigma as well. And Locknick, I said it at the beginning, needing to take this match into his own hands, and that's exactly what he's doing. And now, this is exactly the start that Paradise needed, just to put the ball off on the right foot.
Yeah, I think I can count on my hands how many times I've seen Pharah on Junkertown. The only time that I've ever seen it be viable is 3rd point. So, I mean, it's going to be really up to him. If he can make this work, then, I mean, more power to him. Safe getting booped off of the high ground and being so alone. What a great brute from Boost just to put him out there, but Brickwall taken down at the same time, and the res does come out. Very risky res, but Safe is able to get this off. Purple coming in, super aggressive, does get stunned though and taken out super early. A nice boop out though onto Safe again. He's going to be put in such a vulnerable position. Once again, another boop coming out. He's been playing like he's in a ping pong tournament at this rate. What in the world? He's back in the backline zone, takes out Spooky at the same time.
I mean, this whole map has felt like a ping pong match, just to be honest. And now DTC taking down Boost. Boost able to get the minefields out. But now this is it, Phoenix being able to actually set up a nice defense. That is Purple jumping in, getting the shield down, setting up shop. Brickwall taking down CSP. DTC taking down Caffeinated. These trades back and forth. Flashbang coming out. Main tank experience onto Purple. But now Safe over now into the Soldier now. An important change over from the Widow. Or no, I believe. Were they on the Widow? I can't even remember now. There's too much chaos in this match. But now Safe almost building up to that attack visor. And this defense from Phoenix, I mean, throughout all the chaos, they're now holding strong. And now Aegis only have about a minute left. They're in the same boat that Phoenix was starting off.
You're almost up to 6 ults here for the side of Phoenix. Paradise Aegis do have a lot of ults to work with, but how can you get much value from these ults? A nice stun coming out on the boost, though. You have to be aware of that. An early trance comes out, so maybe that'll be able to buy them an opportunity, especially if Purple can come into here with his Primal Rage, but it's going to be so difficult from their buy space. But CSP taking sleep. He's going to be napped for quite a while, it looks like, but he is actually able to get to the Mega.
Now, pressure being put onto Beast, but an excellent pocket coming through. But now, Winston's nanoed, and yet somehow still alive. Beast finally does go down, but Safe has got 2 with the Tactical Visor. Finishing off with another kill onto Purple. The pocket has gone over to Safe. Now Caffeinated alone. but the attack from Boost coming in, but now Safe just continuing to pop off. It doesn't matter what they're playing. DTC getting the nice headshot onto Brick Wall, and DTC going to finish off a kill onto Boost. And again, Phoenix holding strong. 20 seconds for Aegis right now, and they don't even have their first point.
Safe has been a star player for this team. It's going to be so hard for Paradise Aegis to even get across this little gap here with a long sideline, let alone taking point 3 once again. It's going to be so difficult for them. It's a huge thing to ask of them. Safe getting booped off the high ground, and Lockneck is just looking for some sort of opportunity. Mines do come out from CSP, but Beasties get taken out. This is by them an opportunity, but a huge Deadeye. DTC able to lock onto 3 targets and just put them in the grave, and they're going to be able to take the purple out. And I mean, who can even touch at this rate? Nobody is here. Brickwall trying to get a last-second touch, but DTC. I mean, we were praising Safe for his star plays, but TTC was so consistent, and he finally takes the reins for the star play and is able to win out the map for his team.
I don't even know what to say. That everything was so back and forth there, and then just when it's back and forth, Phoenix come out on that defense, and they just come out and completely just stonewall and do everything that you need to do there. They hold strong. I mean, you know, obviously play the game going to Safe. I mean, the performance put on so far this series has been nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, DTC coming up in big moments, hitting that Deadeye, crucial picks, but I think it's been Safe so far consistently these first 2 maps. It's just been an overall difference maker, playing on a little bit different level tonight, but that's now, you know, 2-0 up into the series, and I mean, it's just been an overall DPS clinic, I guess you could say. What do you do if you're Paradise Aegis? How do you come back from this?
Well, I think you try to go to a map that heavily relies on that tank comp, and I'm not sure if purple is your only tank that you have today, but last time that I actually saw the teams play, I did see a little bit more of a sort of rush comp coming out, especially in the King's Row, and that's one that I really enjoyed watching was the Rhine v Rhine battle. And I mean, Boost has shown the flexibility to be able to flex onto that main tank, other than the ones he's played so far, mainly the Sigma and the Ball. But hopefully they can go to some sort of other comp that's able to rely on those tanks and just able to negate the DPS effect that's happening right now.
Yeah, something's got to change. I mean, there's nothing more you can say. I mean, I don't think Paradise Aegis has been playing particularly poorly. I just think it's just been a difference. It's been kind of another level of play coming out from Safe, coming out from DTC, coming out from Max and CSP. I mean, I think the whole team really has just been coming together. They play well together. They play a well synergized comp, and I think this was a bit surprising. I didn't expect to see this level of disparity, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I felt like Phoenix was taking a little bit of time in the backseat and leaning their chair down possibly for that first part of the map. But in the second half, I mean, they just steamrolled that. And I mean, we were saying how it felt like with the first map of Legion that the first half wasn't competitive, but the second half was. And it feels like the coin has been flipped on its head for this one. So hopefully we can get a sort of different outcome on this third map.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to make, but fortunately, we will be taking a break. I can let my brain reset. I can try and figure out my thoughts. I can come together because these teams, they've been driving me wild. We're going to take a short break before we get back to map 3. Y'all stick with us. We'll be back.
けどそれ以上に育っていって環境がそうさせてしまう。だから今受け入れられるべきなんじゃないですか。
Welcome back. We are here with what can only be described as a hectic and chaotic series so far. Phoenix up 2-0 on Paradise Aegis. Gap, what more can we say?
Well, like you said, it has been a very back and forth match, but one that has gone on the side of Phoenix, seeing a 2-0 coming out from them. I mean, even last map, we saw that crazy C9 coming out where it felt like Phoenix were just grabbing on to a life raft in the middle of the ocean, but we're able to just find a victory out of that. And it's been a crazy back and forth one so far.
It really has. Far more back and forth than the 2-0 scoreline would indicate, of course. We are going into our third map, our hybrid map, and it is a map we all know and love. It's very near and dear to our heart. It is King's Row. And of course, loser selects here. That was Paradise Aegis' pick. What do you expect to see from Paradise Aegis picking King's Row, Gap?
Like I had mentioned last map, King's Row was what I actually wanted to see Paradise Aegis go towards, and something that I think it suits a lot more of what they need to work on with this tank line, and just really relying on Boost and Purple just to show up and show out. Purple being put in here for every single map, which isn't common for Paradise Aegis, but possibly a thing where you don't have your main off tank player really here. And Tempest being brought in for Brick Wall instead. What do you think of that switch coming out?
I think that could possibly lend itself that we could see, I don't know, maybe more double projectile. We could see it possibly a bit of trickery, a bit of tomfoolery, perhaps a Symmetra Bastion strat, Symmetra May. We could see, it looks like we're seeing right now is Symmetra Hanzo, but as expected, I figured it would possibly be to bring in a Symmetra player to let Locknick do a little bit more of the core DPS providing now that we're off of that big hit scan heavy Junkertown map. CSPP and the gang of Phoenix running out with a more traditional brawl comp. You've got the May Cassidy coming out with the Lucio Bap. This is kind of our more tried and true, I guess, standard, you would say, for a defense here in King's Row. What can Paradise Aegis do to kind of counter that, would you say, Gap?
Well, you really need to try to work to take the angles of the high ground, especially for Locknock, just getting a lot of angles for him so that he can capitalize on these pulls coming out from Boost. So that's really what they're going to be depending on, and just trying to take it slow and just weeding out the resources from the tank line and the entire team of Phoenix.
Very good plan. They need to tire out this brawl comp. And now Tempest, though, a bit of a bamboozle, switching off of the Symmetra, getting the double shield set up on the high ground. And switching over to the Echo now, so we will have Locknick on the Echo, Tempest over on the Tempest on the Echo, Locknick on the Hanzo. There we go. I've got it now. It's all figured out. Meanwhile, Tempest setting up on the low ground. Going to go ahead and get that point progress. Phoenix, they're hiding in the low ground. They're hiding down there in the corner, and ultimately it will be Purple taking the engages. Now Max jumps out.
It's going to be so difficult for Phoenix to even engage in this. Max taking out super early. Spooky taking out in turn, but a huge amount of stickies onto Beast just to be able to take him out. And there's no healing for their side. But Boost getting frozen, and Pen actually able to get up with Safe and be able to get that kill onto Boost. And this is so back and forth, but it's going to be sided possibly towards the attackers. But a nice shots coming out onto Tempest. Can they actually secure the kill? Huge shots coming out from Safe. Feeling like a May specialist. A lot of versatility coming out from him. And he's showing that he's here to play in this map. Getting 85% of this Blizzard just with that one fight. And that already took almost a minute and a half off the clock.
Yeah, and it's like you would look at Safe and go, that is a May specialist, that is a May one trick, if we hadn't just seen them pop off on literally every single other role that they've played so far this series. I mean, it's very impressive. And now the defense of Phoenix, they're set up, they're holding steadfast. Boost has switched over to the Reinhardt, Purple over to the Diva. So we are seeing this more traditional brawl. Locknick still on the Hanzo. Spooky on the Zenyatta too, so no speed boost coming out for the attacking Paradise Aegis. Boost will start this off, taking out Safe very early. Immortality Field and the Amplification Major coming out. But Locknick with the Dragon Strike, he gets two. Boost gets another. The Dragon Strike gets the Diva Mech as well. And Locknick and Boost combining for a nice little cleanup there. And now they're going to go ahead and get the progress to work here on A.
Lockner takes out what feels like the entire team there.
Yes.
A crazy play from him, and just that dragon just slowly coming up. And even though it looked pretty dire for Boost and Purple, especially with that Lucio, he did bring it back for them. And honestly, they're going to have a lot of ults to work with, especially Spooky having this Transcendence. And hopefully that's the main reason that he's staying on this Zen as opposed to Lucio. But we're going to be seeing the May ult from Safe as well. So hopefully they can engage into that. And if they can just use that one ult to win the team fight, it would be huge for them.
Absolutely. Anytime you can win a fight off of one ult siege, but now the Amplification Matrix coming out. That's a huge shatter coming out. It got at least 4. Max gets 2 and the D-Mech. And now the Maywall coming out, but to no avail. Max is still on the prowl. CSPP gets the thruster boost on the Baby Diva, and a nice fire strike onto Tempest, and Max is still hungry for more. Safe taking down Spooky. Will Locknick be able to survive? He does not. Locknick going down to DCC, and that is a clean fight win from Phoenix.
Max is going to be clipping and shipping that. You see Safe. A good look at him. He has this Blizzard on the flank, and hopefully he'll be able to get out for the rest of his team. If Purple isn't too conscious of where he can actually be at, and Purple's actually up on this top right high ground, so he's nowhere close to his team to even do anything about this. He's going to be coming back to this team, but it's really going to be dependent on reactions, and it does look like nobody's looking that way. And a really early pick on a Beast, though, is really good for them, but these kills are just coming out this Blizzard. But can they stall long enough just to be able to retain the space? Nice Diva Bomb coming out just to make sure that they buy the time to reset their team. And a nice play from Safe.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, this is just kind of a textbook defense. This was a nice Maywall coming out from Tempest, though, ultimately to no avail, but I like the idea, though. And now this will give Paradise Aegis a chance to move through this bridge, as ultimately Phoenix will back off here. Spooky charging forward with the Transcendence, the Dragon Strike giving even more space. These are a great pair of zoning ults, actually. You wouldn't typically expect it with the Transcendence, but both worked here to zone, and now this is giving Paradise Aegis a little bit more room to breathe.
Yeah, Safe just getting taken this off angle, and the Mail's coming out from Tempest as well. That's going to be so good for them. DTC is able to actually break the LOS, but at high noon coming out from DTC isn't able to get anything with that. But Purple is charged down, 60 HP, but the MO does come out from both sides. They're just going to be looking to stall us out, but Purple being so low, and the Mail does come actually 4 from Tempest, but doesn't really get a whole lot. But Max does have this Shatter once again. If he can get on this Mail, that'd be huge on this May Ice Block, and here it comes out onto 4 people.
Shatter on a
huge Shatter just to secure the fight for them. Getting a little bit low, but Boost, just once he's taken out, there's no defense against Max's Shatter. A second big one, then he gets it in a row.
Absolutely, those have been back-to-back fat shatters. You'd love to see it as a tank player, as a Reinhardt player, any chance to get away from that main tank experience. But meanwhile, now Phoenix, they've got a nice Mayo on the horizon. They've got Amplification Matrix. They've got great ults on the side of Aegis. You really got not much to work with. You've got Caffeinated about to build on that Amplification Matrix. You got to hope that's going to be enough to win this next fight and to really get them in here, because they're in a difficult spot. This is a really tough area to push through once you've gotten stopped. So they've really got their work cut out for themselves here.
If Locknut can get another Dragon Strike up, though, early Amplification Matrix coming out, but Caffeinated does have his in turn, and Locknut doesn't have this Dragon Strike in turn, but Boost and Tempest getting frozen. Boost does get the Shatter, though, and hits 2 point blank, and is able to kill 2 just straight off the bat. A huge play from Boost, just seeing the work that Max puts out and says, I can match that. Let's go head to head.
That was fantastic. Yeah, that was exactly what you needed. That looked like, if that doesn't happen there, that could easily have turned in Phoenix's favor. That could have easily been another fight defense as it stands. So that's going to give you a little bit better time bank going into this third stint here, to where you can ultimately maybe get something done, maybe still have some time in the bank. That's ultimately the goal here if you're Aegis, because you know Phoenix is going to be coming hard on their attack. Tempest with the Mayo online, the Dragon Strike ready and waiting as well. Freeze comes out. Freeze is going to get a few. Stun comes out as well. DTC is going to take down May, but Boost and Purple combining for the May and Ryan kill. And this is exactly what Aegis needs to keep the ball rolling. Purple finishing off the Beast, and now they've got Phoenix on their heels. They're running for the spawn.
Yeah, they're going to be retreating here, but you do have a couple ults to get back into this. Pen having the Sound Bear and CSP having his Diva Bomb in turn. But if we can see a huge Dragon Sight from Locknot coming out, as well as the Diva Bomb from Purple, just to buy more space to them in combining, just able to make sure that they're tunneled in. But nice Deadeye just be able to buy some space for the rest of their team. Does get eaten up, and this Dragon Strike does come out to weave them into this left side, but a lot of damage coming out. Locknot being 1 HP, and the bomb just comes in, cementing Spooky's fate. And this boot on the Rhine. Oh, that's so sad for Boots. He's a little bit ahead from the rest of his team and not able to provide a whole lot of protection. Can he get a boop here? Oh, barely doesn't get it on there, but they are able to win this fight, and it's going to buy a lot of space for them. They can hold it pretty aggressively with this, especially because Boost is going to be able to have a lot of damage.
Yeah, I feel for Pin. Pin almost got those back-to-back tank boops. You want to see it not to be. What is Max doing? What is Max doing? We've got Max set up on the high ground. No one seems to notice yet. Purple is zoning down mid, and now
before.
What are we gonna see? Up! Yes, got Spooky charging out, but the Maywall's gonna stop that defense ultimately. Oh, counter Maywalls. Chaos and Pandemonium ensues. Purple takes down Max. No Reinhardt's on the field.
Boost does have his own Shatter, though, in turn. If they can get this kill on the Diva mech, they are able to take out CSP, and Boost just can push up. And I think that the side of Phoenix just know that he has a Shatter, and he's able to do anything, so they're going to have to back off from this most likely. If they don't, then it's going to be very confusing from Boost isn't able to get at the shatter, but Spooky's able to get this beat, and Boost just gets taken out. So much damage just coming onto him, and they're gonna have to retreat from this. Purple taking 1 HP as well. He does get taken out of the mech eventually, and this is gonna be a reset, but with only 15 seconds left, Blue even is here to touch.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, a lot of this is going to fall to Spooky, but Spooky's currently in the sights of Safe, and they aren't planning to back down now. And now they've got point control. 5 seconds. I think they've pretty much just sealed this up. I don't think there's a way for them to touch now. Dragon Strike will come out, but I think to no avail. And no one's able to touch. Good freeze, ultimate's ultimately coming out, but that's a pretty strong push from Paradise Aegis, but you have to think that Phoenix is going to be able to counter that gap.
Yeah, Paradise Aegis had 5 ults going into that last fight, but weren't able to use any of them, even having, I think, even 4 ults online before that fight had started, but just not able to feel that they have a good time for that, and not sure of what they really want to do, being a little bit indecisive, but overall was a pretty good attack from the side of Paradise Aegis, and one that looks a little bit more promising than we've seen in the past maps, but we always know that that can be a little bit deceiving for this matchup.
Absolutely, and I really think Paradise Aegis is going to need to get creative here. I think really a full hold. I mean, you do have good opportunities. You've got the streets phase. That's a great place to get a stop here. But a full hold, if you can really set up a strong dominance here on this first point, I think, Locknick, we've seen run the Pharah. We've seen daunting odds against Locknick's Pharah as well. Playing against the, I believe the Ashe and the Hanzo at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But, getting tons of value with that, this is something we've seen before. This might be the opportunity they need. We've got Purple playing the Sigma. This is going to be a very, shield heavy, a very tanky lineup. You got a lot of damage that can be done by Locknick. You got all this freeze potential from Tempest. This has potential for full hold, and they're going to need it. Meanwhile, very traditional sort of brawl coming out. You've got DTC back on the Cassidy. You've got Pin on that Lucio roll again. We've got more of the tried and true sort of brawl, and they'll be able to get through very interestingly enough. But
yeah, the comp coming from Paradise Aegis, though, like I've commented on before, it feels like it's split up in their goals. It feels like they're always going to be losing, and a very aggressive push coming out here onto the side hotel. A nice rock coming out onto Safe. She's going to feel a little bit danger there. But a lot of damage coming out. Being so low, Beast is able to get that lamp out, but these boop coming out from Lockdown, just applying so much pressure. Purple gets taken out. I mean, you have no speed boost in there in order to actually disengage your tanks, and Max is just able to walk in and hammer this down, but he does get frozen from the back, and Lockdown able to get 2. This is looking a little more promising. Boost does get rezzed up by Caffeinated as well. A good res from them, but I mean, this is just so back and forth, and the barrage is coming out. He isn't able to get anything now.
So close. Locknick almost able to get value there, but ultimately Caffeinated will go down. CSP, the victor of both of that. And now this is a strong, point progress set up for Phoenix. They should be able to cap it here. Ultimately get this progress started. Looks like they've got Purple on the ropes now, and ultimately this is going to just lead to a bit more stall.
Nice counter.
Max, that's a huge counter charge there. Pin able to get the finishing blow. Tempest does take down Max for it though, but ultimately the spawn advantage will be right there in their favor. DTC taking down Tempest now, and the trades coming out in the favor of Phoenix. They're going to go ahead and get this capped up, and the only question now is if Max got good spawn or bad spawn.
Yeah, Max just taking out the Pythagorean theorem there, getting the A squared plus B squared equals boost on the ground is what that equals. But, I mean, I want to comment again that boost, this whole side of Paradise just feels like they're indecisive. They feel like they want to go rush, and it worked out pretty well for them on their attack, but they just don't feel safe to commit onto it, and instead are trying to depend on Locknock. This is going to be a little bit easier for Locknock, but the window does come out, and he's going to be buying so much space, and the Shatter does come out. Max, hopefully, he gets stunned out, actually.
High Noon does take down Locknick, though. DTC is going to take down Boost as well. Looking for more, trying to get the Mercy, not able to get it there, but a Reaper from Tempest in the backline, wraithing out, ultimately taken down by Pin, and now Phoenix, they're rolling through, and they've got Aegis again, just on the ropes constantly. You're right, they seem to be playing divided. That's a big shatter. The cleanup just keeps coming through, and Phoenix is not stopping, Gap.
Boost just, Max just says, I don't want to reverse sweep. I'm doing my own cleaning up here. Gets the cleanup kills onto the side of Paradise Aegis, and it's going to be so hard for them to even get back into this point. It's almost going to be at the end of second point by the time these tanks are even able to come back on the side of Paradise Aegis. This is on the high ground from Safe. They could get a huge blizzard here, especially with Purple playing that Sigma. But, there's a lot of ults out on each side, so it's really up to their... Oh, but Tempest having to be aggressive. He might get taken out here with that Diva Bomb, especially. Actually,
and the bomb taking down Caffeinated, Freeze taking down Purple, but Locknick got 3, no, just 2. Tempest is going to get the other 2, and now Paradise Aegis, they might just have the defense, the break they need, the opening they need to go ahead, and they've got the team kill. This is the shot now. Aegis, this is a great spot for them to hold. They've got their work cut out for them. They've got 3 minutes 20 seconds to hold, Gap.
0.06 meters is where
Ooh.
that cart ends at. A very close call for that C9 once again. But Tempest just using his Reaper Wraith to just get onto that point and try to touch it as much as he could. But, I mean, it works out for them. Penn does have this beat in order to re-engage in this fight. And DTC does have the Cassidy ult, the high noon, pretty soon. But aggressive ult coming from Purple. If he can get back enough, though, he might be able to get out of this. And nice. Good damage. Just playing consistent on that for Purple.
I mean, talk about damage. They use the immortality field. They use the sound barrier, and still Locknick and the Flux and Purple Flux literally just keep going through. You've got Tempest putting out a bunch of them. Tempest real close to that Death Blossom now too. Locknick almost back to a barrage as well. I mean, the ult generation that Paradise Aegis are hitting right now. I mean, when they're in their stride, they're a force to be reckoned with, and we're seeing it here.
Yeah, this is where it becomes very difficult for Phoenix. If they can pull a fight out of nowhere, that'd be amazing for them, but it's so hard to attack here. They are looking to take this right angle, but it is such a long angle for them to take, especially against this window and the barrage that from Lockdown about to come out again. A huge Blossom coming out, though. The ammo does get used. Oh, but the boop comes out, actually. I believe that was from Penn just booping him back into the team, accidentally sealing the fate for the rest of his team. That is unfortunate.
That's the great conundrum of Lucio's against a Death Blossoming Reaper is, you know, to boop or not to boop, because it can go so right. You can boop away from your team. It can look really awesome. But if you mess up, if you get hit while you're trying to boop, you can look like the fool too. So it's a double-edged sword. It happens. But now Locknick set up, sneaky with the barrage. What will we see here? Meanwhile, Boost, you know, obviously having that Earth Shatter, Beast having the amplification matrix, you know, just a few ults to work with his side. Locknick ultimately not liking his favor here, ultimately taking a more safe position, getting out. Oh, the Shatter comes out, it's huge!
That's a huge Shatter coming out from
Rush comes out.
I mean, the faith, but the Shatter to come out in turn. But I mean, just the barrage, just to lump all the damage on top. Huge play from Boost, just putting, I believe it was 4 on their backs, and Lockdog is just able to put under the damage and clean up the kills.
Pile it on. Just pile it on. Add the staggers, shut down the remake. I mean, just pile it on. And Aegis, you know, this is the Aegis we thought would be playing the whole series, and we're just now seeing them. This is the oppressive force that they can be. I really like this Reaper pick from Tempest. I really think this is a lot of damage output coming out. And you've got, you know, the shielding, you've got the support for your support line. They've got a safe haven in your tank line. And I mean, we're seeing Boost hit Shatters left and right. The only question now is, can Phoenix answer? They've got 45 seconds to do so.
It's going to be a really aggressive play coming out, really trying to put in the damage on Boost, but he's getting pocketed by so many of his teammates and Caffeinated, just putting the Valk on top.
Big
Nice shot from Lock Knock and the Fire Strike just coming out to kill out safe. A nice charge, though, from onto Boost. I think Max charged him in order to make sure that bomb confirmed the kill. Yeah, I believe it was. Oh, but Max getting rocked and taken out. That's so bad for them. It looked so promising, actually, at the beginning.
Yeah, but it's all right because Tempest still sitting there with the Death Blossom in hand, and ultimately the fight, Paradise Aegis, they're holding strong, and now 10 seconds. It's just going to be a question of getting a solid contest here. Now Tempest able to get a nice setup, look for that Death Blossom safe, already very low as CSP makes their way to the point. Ultimately, still now Tempest has revealed themselves, putting pressure. Locknick taking down safe. Flux coming out, the sound barrier as well, but the barrage and everything, ult after ult, the Death Blossom. It's just ult city, Paradise Aegis, and they are the mayor, and they take their first win of the series. Do you smell a reverse sweep? I don't know. We might smell one.
I think it's definitely possible, but the difficult thing for them is that the reason that they were able to be so successful on this map is because they played to their strengths of enabling their tank line and just overtaking the other side. And you're going to see this nice, huge flex coming out from Purple, playing pretty well in this Sigma, even though it's a pretty unconventional pick for Rush, because that D.Va is just a little more versatile. Purple just making it work and just lumping on the damage, and it's just a huge amount about their momentum, especially when you're playing this lineup here.
Only crazy if it don't work, right? That's the motto. I mean, that's just a ton of output on every side. I mean, Caffeinated, the whole crew, they're all just putting in the work right now. And now Paradise Aegis, they're right back in it. They're 2-1 in the series, and I mean, this is a completely different team than I feel like we saw the first 2 maps. Gap, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely one that feels a little more alive. I mean, you felt like the stars aligned there, especially whenever they took back that second point. It felt like it was already in the hands of Phoenix, but Paradise Aegis pulling out their own rabbit in the hat and, you know, making sure they don't C9 once again, waiting at 0.06 meters. But It's feeling like it could be possible for them. It just depends on what map Phoenix picks, and it's really up to them to make sure that Paradise Aegis can't go with the same game plan of enabling their tanks and instead going for a more DPS heavy map.
Right, absolutely, and it does look like we will be going to Hanamura. So, interesting, 2 CP moment, as they say. Uh, Going into Hanamura, what does that mean for Phoenix? Picking that map, would you say, Gap?
Well, I definitely think that we're going to see some more Hanzo coming out from both sides of things. Looking again here at the maps being super close on that King's Row, it felt like at the end. But I mean, Junkertown, Lijiang, you felt these back and forth maps. And like we said, it feels like a reverse of the fates when you get to King's Row. And hopefully, Paradise Aegis are able to take that momentum into Hanamura and maybe playing a little more into their strengths. But I'm really concerned, though, if I do see more Ryan Sigma coming out without the Lucio once again, because this map is a little more dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like you can get away at times without the Lucio possibly on King's Row. I mean, we saw it work well for Aegis at times. They were getting value with Spooky on the Zenyatta. I feel like the choke points in Hanmur are going to make that a little bit different, more difficult. I feel like you're really going to want a Lucio player at some point if you intend to run the brawl. If you're running something different, if you're running some of these more unique comps that we've seen Aegis run, hey, maybe you don't need it. Maybe you run the Symmetra to bypass that. There are ways around it. But if we're looking at, that Rhine Sigma that we saw be so successful for Paradise Aegis on King's Row, if we're looking at that, I really think you have to have the Zen, as you said. I mean, the Lucio, forgive me. All these Zens, Lucios, I'm all backwards now. But you need that Lucio, I think, to get through, especially the point A choke.
Yeah, usually we'll see a little bit of a double shield setup or a bunker setup coming out on Hanamura, but it's really up to the teams what they decide to do. And for Paradise Aegis, if they decide to play towards their DPS, I mean, Brick Wall coming back in as well for Tempest. So maybe we'll be seeing a little bit more of that double sniper coming out, or possibly that Cassidy with a Hanzo, if that is what they decide on.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, Brickwall does seem to be a bit, along with all the. I mean, we saw Tempest coming in playing that short range hit scan of Reaper. Technically a hit scan. But it seems like Brickwall is a bit more of that long range hit scan specialist. So I imagine we're going to see possibly, maybe a Widow, but possibly an Ash, possibly a Cassidy. But we're going to see a little bit more of that range TPS. That's going to open up Locknick, possibly playing that Pharah, going over to the Hanzo. It's like you said. I mean, I think we will be seeing a good bit of Hanzo here on Hanamura. It just makes sense, and I think Locknick's definitely going to be getting value on that. Meanwhile, though, you've got Safe on the other side with Phoenix. Let's not forget they've had a compelling 2-map victory so far this series. They did lose King's Row, yes, it's true, but I mean, Safe, they've been putting in the work. DTC, I mean, this has been a great DPS battle, and I think both these two have been getting their fair share of the value gap.
Yeah, both DPS sides just getting a lot of value, like you said, and Save just popping off over and over again. It feels like it's been the battle of the Hanzos for the majority of these maps. But for
Yes.
Brick Wall, he has been playing a very great Widow and maybe playing another hit scan within this map. And it looks like the side of Paradise Aegis and the side of Phoenix are both going to be siding towards that brawl comp. Oh, Lockdown does decide to go to the far, though. That could be a little bit interesting. Wondering if they'll drop the Lucio once again, but two pretty aggressive comps. And actually, DTC playing the Ashe is a little more passive and a little bit confusing, but can still work.
That would be true in true Paradise Aegis fashion. We say, I really think they need a Lucio. They're like, fine, we'll play your Lucio, but we'll also play a Pharah. It's like, darn it, Aegis. No, I'm just kidding. But this is a very unique comp if we see it. Brickwall with the Symmetra are going to give this brawl comp a lot of mobility. Locknick might just be looking for some early boops, some early bumps, maybe trying to get some quick value. But it looks to at least be sticking with it. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Phoenix are running a traditional brawl tank line. They've got a Symmetra of their own. They've got DTC on the Ashe, so it's going to be tough sledding. But now Charge coming out. Boost not really getting anything, but now he's in the backline, swinging the hammer. Still no picks coming out, but this fight's happening squarely on the point. Immortality's out for both sides. CSP getting the first pick onto Brickwall, and that's a big source of damage gone. Safe is going to take down the mech of Purple, though. And now this is looking in favor of Phoenix as they go ahead and start getting the picks. Safe taking down Boost. Lucio being laid low by DTC as well. And now Ultimate already online for Safe. I mean, this is a great first fight if you're Phoenix, and ultimately nothing doing if you're on the side of Aegis.
Yeah, Boost just getting matched by Max, and whenever they do TP onto that point, but Boost just charges in and goes super aggressive, and both Immortality fields just coming out super early from both sides. Look at Boost and Max, though. Their charge is already up. Max being at 90% to his shatter, and Boost being 80%, having so many swings and so much damage. But I mean, that was a really good fight for Phoenix at that rate.
I mean, look at Locknick as well. Locknick's at 92% on the far ult as well, even without the support of a Mercy. The the Symmetra teleport coming through now, allowing for Paradise Aegis to rotate over to the left, and that's an amplification matrix already coming out from the Beast, preempting the rotation of Paradise Aegis. They'll ultimately just wait that out. Bit of a dogfight going on as CSPP takes down Locknick. Stands to tell the tale, critical, but ultimately getting tapped up. And now the attack from Paradise Aegis coming in. Symmetra Wall coming out as CSPP takes down Boost. But Brick Wall and Purple, they're going to take down Beast and Max. Safe, getting a nice pair of kills onto the support line of Paradise Aegis. And now Safe, ultimately cleaning up, getting a few more picks. And Safe standing tall, as is the rest of Phoenix, as they get another fight win there.
You pointed it out before, but that Symmetra Wall from Safe, they just had a huge play there, putting that up and just making sure that Boost isn't able to get healed by the rest of his team. And I mean, Spooky is just on the other side of it, wondering what's going on the other side of that wall, and he's not able to do anything to assist his team. So huge wall from Safe and just perfectly timed from them.
A great catch. Meanwhile, Brickwall, another great catch, catching DTC out on the Ash very early in this fight. That's going to take out a lot of this range damage, possibly allow Knocknick a little bit more of a free barrage, and he's going to use it. He takes down Beast, he takes down Max, the Sound Barrier, and this is the release valve that Aegis needed. They burst forward to the point, but CSP, the triple bomb! Purple's going to take down Safe on the Hog now. I mean, chaos. Just when you think Phoenix is out, that's a nice triple kill. DTC's able to get Bob on point. Now Bob able to go to work. The boop! Purple's off. Pin is booped off Purple. DTC taking down Boost. Pin taking down Brick Wall. I don't know what happened, but somehow Aegis, despite all that, they have no progress, and Phoenix have won again.
It's very rare that I see a Pharah getting taken out by a Diva Bomb, but that is one of the occasions where it happens. And Max was playing so aggressive there at the beginning of the fight, and he's going to be here in the off angle again on the flank because he has a Shatter and wants to get some point-blank kills. And if they don't actually check this corner, they might miss a big German man there.
And I feel like Aegis, oh, he did get fine out. I was about to say, Aegis has been pretty slow to check these corners, but they do ultimately sniff out Max there. He is still waiting. He still wants it. Purple pushing forward. The Dragon Strike coming out. The Shatter, it's got a couple. Can he really act on it, though? Brickwall taking down Pin. Boost taking down DTC. These are a lot of picks coming out for Aegis, but they really haven't even made it through the choke yet. Now Locknick on the Soldier, pushing forward. A huge hook onto Max. That was a huge hook from Purple. He ultimately does take down Max. Locknick going to take the high ground. Amplification Matrix coming out from Beast. Not really getting the value yet. Purple's going to take down Safe. Purple in fine form on the Roadhog, knocking Beast up in the air. Beast is down, taken out by Locknick. And now, it's impressive. That's all you can say. That was as strong as Phoenix has been throughout that whole defense. You know, Aegis come in like it's nothing. Purple switches over to that Hog, gets a ton of value, and boom, they're right back in it, Gap.
It is a very last second take, so they are going to be working with a much smaller time bank going to the second point. But I mean, you're just happy if you do get that point, first of all. It gives you another chance to be able to reset and see what you can make of this second point. But Boost does have these mines, and Purple has this whole Hog as well, just to be able to buy space for their team and just be able to force Max and Co to get off of this high ground and to give it to the rest of their team, which is really great for their DPS line.
Oh, that's a huge anti-placement by Beast, and DTC able to clean it up. DTC taking down the Immortality field as well. So really no lifeline available now on the side of Aegis. Purple going to go ahead and let fly the whole Hog. Takes down Max as well for it. Living inside the minefield at the moment, able to take a breather, get back to full form, and now they're going to go ahead and take control of the high ground. A nice kite away, though, on the side of Phoenix as they ultimately maneuver away from a lot of that. Huge hook from Purple, though. Takes out
What
Safe.
a nice hook from... And this Dragon Strike is just going to put us at this point as well. Max is trying to come onto the point last second, and also the Diva Bomb coming out. And the Diva Bomb actually gets the kill onto Spooky. A huge remake kill onto him. Spooky doing a little bit out of nowhere. Purple tries to get this hook on it, the Bob, but to no avail. It doesn't really matter at this point. Purple being pretty low, though, and Brickwall doesn't get this kill, though. So actually, they're still in this fight. Boost taking out CSP from the mech, and Max is the last line standing, it feels like. Nade already used from the Ana, so if they can pressure him, this would be huge, but a slip coming out on the Boost.
Now Locknick coming out with the attack visor. Max is going to take down Purple right after Purple had taken down Beast. Locknick not really getting much, but a little bit of shield break there for his troubles there on the attack visor. But Brickwall, until this very moment when CSPP dives up here, has been pretty much unchecked on that high ground, and that's what even gave Aegis a chance to get back in it. And look, back up to a Dragon Strike now for it.
I thought he was going to get that kill on the DCC. Those have been some crazy shots. He is able to hit one, but he isn't able to secure the kill. Dragon Strike from Brickwall, though, could clear out this high ground once again and maybe get a suspicious kill onto somebody like the Ana, who really pressures DTC at this rate. Soldier going down mid, but I'm really looking at that Dragon Strike to buy an opportunity for Paradise Aegis in onto the Rhine, but Max able to get nanoed and just being able to go in there and swing. And Purple's antied. What can he do against this? Nothing. Just hammers come swinging in, and there comes the Shatter just onto the 2 DPS. Another day in the office for Max, it feels like.
Yeah, and that's a nice cleanup there by Phoenix. They'll ultimately mop up the supports here as well. But, you know, ultimately just strong fight positioning. Not really, you know, I think the Dragon really wasn't able to get value just because of the overall aggressive positioning of Phoenix. They're able to set up well. They're able to do the right things there. Meanwhile, Aegis, they do have a good couple ultimates coming online. Locknick's going to try to farm that Tac Visor up as well to get into the mix. On the side of Phoenix, you're really looking at the bomb and the self-destruct, and that's really it as we get down to, you know, 10 seconds. And the question will be, how can Aegis get a nice touch on here that's not going to put somebody at risk?
Yeah, Boost does have these mines, so hopefully he's able to buy some space and find DTC 1 HP. Can he actually start the cure the skill? He's not able to, and he has to stay on this point. Bob does come out just to be able to contest that point. It's gonna be so difficult for them to take this. Mortality field taken out, and Boost being so low. Brickwall does take out the Bob finally, but it feels like it's a little bit too late for anything to happen. Purple is the last line of defense onto that point, but it's gonna be to no avail, and it looks like Phoenix are gonna be able to hold this second point.
Yeah, I want to point out too, Safe getting a huge pick onto Locknick there. Locknick was at 95% to Tac Visor, not able to get that off. You know, that could have been a big difference maker, being able to use that ult in the engagement. But ultimately, Phoenix standing strong on the defense. 47.9% on the side of Aegis for their attack. You know, not bad, not good, not great, but definitely doable. Definitely a win condition. Both teams have it set now. If you're Phoenix, you know, what can you do to come out on the right foot here on this attack?
I mean, if you just play this rush once again and just apply the pressure, unless Booze and Purple are playing a sort of double shield comp, then you could try to match them on that. But I think you just play to your advantages and just play on that rush again and put DTC on the sort of either Ashe or putting him on Cassidy. But Safe has just been doing well on any character he's been playing projectile, or that they've been playing projectile wise. So if you just TP to point, it's really on Paradise Aegis just to not crumble underneath the pressure.
I agree on both counts. I agree Safe has really been popping off on whatever they've decided to play. I have no question this Symmetra pick will be more of the same there. Meanwhile, the tank line, you know, this max CSP tank line with the Rhine Diva, they've been doing so well with that so far throughout the course of the whole season. I mean, the synergy's definitely there. And, you know, as my grandfather used to say, you got to dance with the girl that brung you in. So I like seeing them, you know, staying on this brawl comp. They've been getting a ton of value. It's going to get great value with the Sim. Meanwhile, Purple on the Sig, Boost on the Reinhardt, Locknick on the Pharah, Brick Wall on the Hanzo. So now we've got the Hanzo, just not from Locknick. Safe will look to set up this teleport here. Looks like it will go straight to the point, and we're in business.
Oh, he isn't able to take himself, though. Barely misses out on that chance, and the Immortality Field gets taken out so early. It's going to be up to Max to just live here, but actually able to take out Boost. Boost not getting that Immortality from Spooky, and Spooky throwing it a little bit short, maybe having a weaker hand on him. And this is looking dire for Paradise Aegis. First point getting taken out so quickly. CSP does get taken out late, but, I mean, that looks like it's going to be wrapping it up there for first.
I mean, those picks just came rolling through off of that teleporter, and Phoenix just looked like they were in control the whole time. I mean, I'm not actually sure. Aegis just kind of got rolled there, basically. And now, you look, Safe's going to play aggressively and immediately go set up this teleport. They're going to look to wrap this up here fast, done and dusted. They're going to go ahead and snowball on here.
Safe does take their teleporter this time, so we're looking pretty good so far. Boost getting pretty close to the Shatter, but getting countercharged by Max. That's a huge pick onto him because that Immortality Field is so early from Spooky once again. Immortality Field comes out from Beast just to be able to make sure that they live, and a huge symbol just to split this point and make sure that these DPS don't have any opportunities to make anything happen. And that's looking, it's gonna be map 3 going to Phoenix. Ash able to seal that, but Paradise Aegis, at least you got that map and are able to take a third place standing, it looks like.
Well, I agree. Coming into this, I didn't expect either team in this to be 3-0'd, so true to form. You know, I do enjoy being right. What can I say? But Aegis, you know, I think this was really just a question of Phoenix playing to their strengths and Aegis, you know, really struggling to find their identity throughout the course of the match. I think that's really kind of what happened here. This didn't look to be the the strongest iteration of Aegis that we've seen to date. It looked and as I said, it just looked like you could see that throughout the series. There were times, there were moments of greatness. You know, Locknick popping off, Purple popping off. I mean, everyone across the board, all six players, you can see individual pop off moments for Paradise Aegis, but the team identity, the team core, it just didn't quite manifest the way it needed to at times. And with Phoenix, you know, it seems like their identity is very clear, it's very much in hand, and so they come up 3-1 here with the victory today, Gap.
Yeah, just really relying on their DPS just to make space. But Phoenix just playing a very standard game of Overwatch. It feels like playing very well together, and you have to credit that a little bit to their cohesion, their time playing together, and having that synergy with each other. But really, just playing super well in that rush comp and being able to just put the focus on to whoever needs it. But with Paradise Aegis, like you said, they just need to find their identity, especially going to playoffs and being able to choose, who they can actually face and having a couple choices. It's gonna be really up to them to choose a team that really doesn't face anything against Paradise Aegis and really just gets picked by Paradise Aegis every single time and plays into their hand.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just, it's going to be a question of can they just find their identity going into playoffs. They still have a chance. This is one of those things where you need to bounce back, you need to come back strong in playoffs, and they'll have a chance to do that. But we will be going to a short break. We'll be right back with MVPs, interviews, all that good stuff, and we'll be right back. Don't miss it. Welcome back. We are here joined in the booth with the Beast, off support player for the winning Phoenix team. Beast, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. That was an amazing game, and I'm glad we were able to eke out the win.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you put it that way because despite the 3-1 scoreline, it was a very close series.
Yeah, it was hard fought. We'd never felt like we were just confident that like this was every map was ours or anything like that. We were fighting for our lives in every game, and we knew it.
Yeah, playing into a map like Junkertown where you had that crazy C9 and seeing a lot of back and forth plays, especially from the DPS. How did you feel going to that moment of the C9 whenever you had this tracer in the backline saying push, push, into them?
So yeah, at that point it was like winding down. There was only a few seconds left. We knew we only had one fight left, and it seemed like we weren't going to get it, but we had to do it, and we all were going in, and Tracer's like, "Look, go, C9, push everyone in," and we jump in, we get their attention, and we're able to get the last couple meters without them realizing it, and it was, just distract while we are subtly pushing the cart.
Well, I said it off stream. I mean, that was a C9 of like Soon level proportions, made more so by the fact, it was the tracer, it just made perfect sense. But, that's a good segue into, there was so much chaos. So just so much chaos back and forth so far this series. From a comms perspective, from an organization within the comm structure, how do you navigate that in game and how do you mitigate a lot of that chaos as far as how your comms are concerned?
Well, things get pretty chaotic during fights. People are yelling out. You have to make sure you're paying attention to the important calls, and the target caller needs to react to the information they're being fed. And then as soon as like we realize the fight's won, we just have to get on everything we need to talk about. And you just have to kind of reset. Like everything's really hype, but then you just got to move forward. It's just got to bounce back and forth between two modes. That's kind of how we handle it.
Yeah, and going into a game like this where you're playing a lot of rush comps, but also playing a lot of this, the Junkertown comps, they're synonymous with being very poke heavy. How did you decide on playing that Anna instead of, siding towards a Zen or anything of that sort? And was that something that was maybe in terms of how Purple played this hog very often and to shut that down in the untraditional dive plays that they had?
The hog was the biggest problem. That was the reason we were just falling apart. The hog caused so many problems for us. So I was like, should I just start on an Ana here and I'll just shut him down and try to, open up space? We're gonna have a lot less damage, but we're playing pick heroes. I think at that point we had Hanzo and was it Ash? It was either Ash or Widow. And so I was like, if I can just make the hog a non-issue, and then our DPS can get our picks if they're not, getting hooked or being threatened by a hog that's in their face.
See, that's perfect too because that's the support role. Everyone thinks it's just heal bot, heal bot. No, it's about also proactively avoiding your team needing as much healing because you took out the Roadhog that was going to
Yeah.
hook and insta kill them. So I mean fantastic stuff. You love to see it. I mean that's what we love to see from support play, shutting down the Roadhog, which it was a huge factor. I definitely saw it throughout the series, but uh, I mean just going back into that series. Uh, 3-1 scoreline, it's much closer than it seems. Was there ever a moment where you really, I mean, because from our perspective, it never seems like you're in control really on either side. Like no side really seems to really have an upper hand until, certain aspects that defense on, I believe, what was it? That defense on Hanamura, uh, yeah, that was really one of the only examples, and that was very end. So, what was y'all's moment where y'all really felt like in control, if there was any, basically?
So it was actually earlier on Junkertown when we pushed all the way with 1 minute left because we honestly have struggled with third point on Junkertown, and we scrim it a lot because it's actually kind of one of our favorite maps. But we usually don't make it to third point, so we don't have a lot of practice doing it. So we had to kind of figure out what can we switch up, how can we handle these situations that we don't get to practice all that much. So at that point, when we pushed all three points with just 1 minute left in overtime all the way, we felt like on cloud nine. We just were going, and yeah, we ended up losing the next map, but I don't think that deterred us. I think we were all confident that we're in this to win it.
Yeah, Cloud9 was probably a moment that you were feeling a lot that game. But I mean, going into this match overall and getting that win out onto Paradise Aegis with a 3-1 score as of that. I mean, y'all are looking pretty good within the standings. And even, I mean, heading face to face, it looks like with Paradise Aegis. But going into playoffs, is there any team that y'all feel like y'all want to face, whether it be a rivalry matchup or one that y'all feel is just a giveaway for y'all?
Um, I forget if it's the Frost Surge or Frost Nova. I forget the difference, which one's which, but the one that's undefeated that we lost 3-0 to, that was
Frost
kind of
Nova,
a
yeah.
Nova. Okay, sorry. Sur- Surge. Okay. The
Surge.
Oh
one
yeah,
Surge.
that 3-0'd us. It was kind of maybe not devastating, but it was unexpected. We thought we'd maybe be able to get a map or two off them, and so we're looking to get back at them and maybe get a win.
love the
I
grudge
like
match.
that. Oh yeah, revenge arc, man. Grudge match, you gotta have it. That's
Works.
the way to be. You want to go after that. Oh yeah. So any shout outs you got? We've talked about, the grudge match. What shout outs you got? Anybody you want to kind of say hey to out there?
Honestly, the hog on the other team, very well played.
Purple.
The purple, amazing play. I know you might generally want to call out your teammates for doing great things, but I respect the game, and he did a great job. That was we had to adapt. We had to change what we were doing just to counter that. So
I love that. That might be one of the best answers we've ever got, I think. That's perfect. Well, I think that's about gonna do us. I've been your host, Lemon Pepper. I don't really have any social media, anything like that. Gap, how about you? You got any social media?
You can find me over on Twitter over at Gap Streams, GAPSTREAMS, and then you can find me over at Twitch, where Gap104, where I stream a bit. But yeah, go follow me over there, and we appreciate y'all staying with us for this match.
Absolutely. Yes, it's been a pleasure, and we will be seeing you next time. I believe the next stream will be Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we will be looking at the playoff selection. So check it out. Don't miss it. The top 4 teams, I believe, will be selecting their first round opponents for the playoffs. It's going to be fun. We're going to have representatives from each team, maybe get a little back and forth. It's going to be a good time. So don't miss it. Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Come check it out. I'm Lemon Pepper. This is Gap. This is the Beast. This has been a great stream. 3-1 Phoenix taking the victory over Paradise Aegis. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time.